Sukkot, the 7 Moedim of Yahweh, and the weekly Shabbat is an eternal Moed of Yahweh. Yahweh says, when I come to rule and reign from Jerusalem, in that day, in that day, I will take the fast of the 5th month, and it will no longer be a day of remembering the Portuguese expulsion, and the Spanish Inquisition, and the English expulsion, and the blood libel, and the defeat of Bar Kokhba, and the destruction of the buildings of Jerusalem, and the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem. It will be a day of simcha, joy, and gladness. More than that, it will be an eternal moed, somebody. Only Yahweh can take a man-made day of mourning and turn it into joy. And turn it into a moed equal to Pesach, equal to Shavuot, equal to Sukkot. Only Yahweh can do what no man can do. He will take this day. And that people say, why could Yahweh so cruel? Couldn't it be prevented? Couldn't it be stopped this day from being a day of darkness and tragedy and unthinkable destruction? Couldn't he have stopped it? Surely he not only didn't stop it, surely he orchestrated it by allowing it. Because that's not a coincidence, all these events to fall on the same day. Yes, he could have. But he didn't. Why? Because he had a greater plan. Are you getting this, Tam? He allowed it so that in the end, turn to your neighbor and say, in the end, when all is said and done, turn to your neighbor and say, when all is said and done, when the final chapter is written, turn to your neighbor and say, when the final chapter is written, he'll take that which was sorrowful and turn it into an eternal moed of Yahweh. And if it's eternal, when will we be celebrating? In eternity, in the kingdom, when Yeshua rules, when Yeshua reigns, when Yeshua is king. In that day there shall be one king, and his name one, and Yahweh will be king over all the earth. In that day, the fast of the 5th month will be an eternal day of Moedim. So next time someone says, oh, you're going to that place, and they're so whacked out on this Hebrew stuff.
That's right.
That's not enough for them to do these 7 Moedim of Vayikra 23. They're doing the Jewish holidays, man. I mean, they're way out in left field. Well, I have news for you. Yahweh's going to take this Jewish holiday and adopt it as his own and make it an eternal moed for all the kingdom saints, the Kiddushim. Look at this. I will make it an appointed time, a moed for the house of Yehuda, and they will love the truth. Who's the truth? Yeshua said, Ani haderech, ani hachayim, ani haemet. Who is the truth? When will this happen? When will the 9th day of the 5th month become an eternal moed? When Judah learns to walk in the truth. So who is the truth? Who is the truth? Yeshua. Yeshua is going to tell them to do this eternally, no longer to mourn, for he will wipe away sorrow and sadness and disease, and sorrow and sighing and sadness shall flee away, somebody. Because he is the truth. He is the way. He is the light. And when the truth tells them to stop crying, they will stop crying. And instead of a garment of heaviness, he will give them a garment of praise. Instead of the ashes of mourning, they will have the oil of gladness, somebody. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. 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 That's right. Only Yahweh. Only Yahweh can take a day of Eichmann and turn it into a day of his son. Only Yahweh can take the day of the Crusaders and turn it into an appointed time of Zion. Only Yahweh. Not by might, not by power, but by my Ruach, says Yahweh. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. I'm talking about a king who can turn tragedy into triumph. Who can turn darkness into light. Who can take those who walk in the counterfeit of the man-made and turn them to the eternal truth of the 9th day of the 5th month. Yahweh will take this day of tragedy and infamy and turn it into a portion of his eternal truth.
Amen.
Wait. Slow down, Rabbi. Slow down. You're not selling me yet.
Uh-oh.
It says for Judah. It doesn't say for Ephraim.
What about us?
Here we go.
Yeah. See the 10 tribes, 10? Yeah. Como niño, como niño.
Come on in.
Crying our eyes out.
Ay, ay, ay.
Because Ephraim has been in the nations for a long time. The more Moadim Ephraim can get, they want all the Moadim they can get. I mean, let's be honest. Who wants to be depressed? Ephraim says, look, I was in the church system, I had 0 Moadim. Then I came into Messianic Israel, I got 7 plus the weekly Shabbat. Are there more? Yeah, but you got to be Jewish. No. Slow down now. Because Ephraim wants all the Moadim they can get, amen? You've been starved for a long time, amen? You've been hungry for a long time, amen?
That's right. We'll be having pagans' face.
The believer's boredom can be overwhelming. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Now wait, Rabbi. So Judah will love the truth. Yeshua will teach them how to turn a fast of mourning into a moed of joy and simcha. And then they'll have peace through the Moshiach. But Yahweh says, I'm not finished. Look at verse 20. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, Yahweh Sebaot, peoples, nations shall yet come. Come where? Come to these dark days turn bright. In context. Don't pull the sucker out of context. They're going to come to what? To these dark days turn bright.
Yes.
Is anyone with me? You say, well, it's for Yehudah. Rabbi, I agree. It says for the house of Yehudah. What about the house of Yisrael? It says peoples or nations will come, the inhabitants of many cities. Verse 21. Here it is. Ready? Are you ready?
Yes.
Well, I'm not. How's that for a change?
That's okay.
I'm waiting for you to get ready.
Take your time.
Ready.
Take your time.
By the way, Thomas Jakes, the get ready guy, he's not a Trinitarian, just for your information. He's not a Trinitarian. T.D. Jakes? Yes, Baruch Hashem
Oh,
Yahweh.
Baruch Hashem. We're waiting for that.
And the inhabitants of one city will go to another city of what? The nations, the peoples. And here's what they'll be saying. They'll be going from city to city. Town. Are they Jews? No, they're peoples from the nations. Are they Jews? No, they're people from the nations. Or what's another way to say people from the nations? Ephraimites in the latter-day context. And here's what they're going to be saying. They're not going to be saying, we wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas.
No.
The diplomacy of our rabbi comes forth once again. The Chabad version. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Hallelujah. Now here's what all the non-Jews are going to be saying in the day and the time and the hour and the season when Yahweh takes these dark days of historical death and destruction and turns them into days of eternal Moadim and light and celebration and simcha and joy. Here's what the non-Jews are going to be doing, and here's the message that the non-Jews are going to be carrying. Let us earnestly go and pray before Jehovah.
No.
Yahweh.
No. Yahweh.
So we see the nation starting to call on the name.
Yes.
Saying, we've been praying, but now we're going to do our praying before Yahweh. Well, wait a second, Rabbi. My King James says, Lord. L-O-R-D. Is it in caps? Is it in uppercase? That means it's a substitute of the Hebrew Yahweh. Whenever you see the word in uppercase letters, L-O-R-D, it's Yahweh in Hebrew.
It's Yahweh.
So the non-Jewish believers are going to stay.
Come on.
Come on.
In Judah, he takes the fast day and turns it into a day of celebration. In Ephraim, he takes the prayers that are going to goad and turns them and directs them to the true and living Yahweh. Somebody, it's the same day. It's the same time. It's the same hour. It's the same time. When non-Jewish believers are leaving the ways of the nation, the way of the nation.
Baruch Hashem, Yahweh.
Start praying. Oh, they've been praying for 2,000 years. To Mary,
In the wrong
to
direction.
Valentine,
Right.
to Mother Teresa, Blessed Sacred Heart, blah, 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 Finkelstein, Sacred Heart Finkelstein. But in those days, they'll keep praying. Yahweh takes Judah and turns the 9th of the 5th month into an eternal celebration of Moed. He takes the prayers of Ephraim and redirects them to the true Yahweh. It's a simultaneous event. Isn't that what's happening now?
Amen.
In the restoration of the two houses? Ephraim's calling on the true living Abba Yahweh, and Judah's coming back. And instead of mourning, they're saying, Mashiach has come. The temple is in heaven where no man can defile it. I'm a born-again saved Jew. So Judah is starting to celebrate this as an eternal remembrance of Yeshua's love and protection. Look at this. Let us earnestly go and pray before Yahweh and seek Yahweh of hosts. And then your sister Karen says, you're nuts! And what does Karen say? Fine, I'll go myself.
That's right. That's right. Amen. Baruch Hashem, Yahweh.
You got a head covering on, man? You look like a Muslim. What are they doing to you in that Jewish place?
Receiving the truth.
They got you dressed up like a Muslim. Don't you know you're going to get attacked in the supermarket? So what does this disciple of Yeshua say? If you don't go, I'm going myself.
That's right.
You can pray to whoever you want to pray to,
right.
and the name you inherited, I'm praying to Yahweh.
Amen.
And at the same time, Judah's saying, why cry? Mashiach has come. He's going to take this day of infamy and turn it into a day of joyful, eternal Moed celebration. The crying is over, baby. It's a simultaneous event. When it's happening in Judah, it's happening in Ephraim. Are you getting this? The fact that you're praying to Yahweh and not God is not a coincidence. It is a sign that Yahweh is going to take the fast of the 5th month and turn it into an eternal celebration. Because Judah's going to say the season of crying is over. Messiah has come. From now on, I'm protected from my enemies. And from now on, he is building the house of David, the tabernacle of David, that cannot be touched and cannot be spoken against. Somebody's with me today. You thought I tried to be quiet for 45 minutes. I just couldn't. I tried, but it's out of character. It's not my nature. I've got a new nature. For if any man be in Mashiach, he is a new creation. All things are passed away. Behold, all things have become new. Somebody. It's my new nature. I can't shut up. They had blind Bartimaeus and said, boy, you can never be this rabbi's disciple. You makes too much noise.
Shush. Shush.
And what did blind Bartimaeus say? I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
Don't think so.
No, he shouted all the more. Yeshua ben David, rachem alai. Yeshua ben David, rachem alai. Yeshua ben David, rachem alai. Have mercy on me. Baruch Hashem Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Hallelujah. Man, what a Yahweh. He doesn't leave Ephraim out in the cold. Don't you understand Ephraim's going? I'm going. On Edith, are you going? No, not going. But I'm going. Where you going, girl? I'm going to pray to Yahweh. Oh, is that the dude in jail? No, that's the dude in heaven.
Amen. That's right.
It's getting hot in here, isn't it? Baruch Hashem Yahweh. It's the hotness of joy and gladness. It's the hotness of a day that is eternally mournful and sorrowful, and Yahweh, only Yahweh can turn it around.
Yes.
Watch this. And many nations. There it is. There it is. We close with this. Look at verse 22. Look at verse 22. There it is. Many nations. Not, go back to verse 19. Yahweh will take the 9th day of the 5th month, today, turn it into a pleasant, appointed moed for the house of Yehudah, when Yeshua shows them that he's the truth and he is their shalom. But it's not limited. This day, the turnaround of this day, is not limited to the house of Yehudah. But notice, the Cubans and the Koreans and no one else.
Amen.
No. Many people.
Many people.
Look at verse 22. Many people. How many? Many. Many. How many? The fullness of the Gentiles. That's how many. The Melo HaGoyim. That's how many. The scattered house of Israel that is multiplied in exile and filled every nation with the seed of Jacob. That's how many. All nations, all peoples, who will be praying to Yahweh will be strong nations. They were your Israelite nations. Jewish Israel is not all Israel. That says that the strong nations are the overcoming nations. The Israelite nations and the people from the strong nations will come and seek and pray to Yahweh of hosts where? In Yerushalayim. How can we pray to Yahweh in Yerushalayim? Right now we get arrested. The temple must be rebuilt.
Amen.
Because right now we get arrested, we'd be taken into custody.
3 billion people.
So when 2 or 3 billion people come knocking at the door and saying, I want my records. And then the inhabitants of the Temple Mount are going to say, what record? We don't have any records. They've been destroyed. And we keep knocking like Fred Sanford on that old rerun when he dressed up with the sunglasses. I want my daddy's records. We don't have the records. Fine, we're coming to look for the records. And 2 billion Israelites take the Temple Mount. Hello? The temple of Yahweh will be rebuilt. The nations, the strong nations, the Israelite nations in exile will return to seek Yahweh, to pray to Yahweh, not only in heaven, but in Jerusalem. And we close with verse 23. Thus saith Yahweh. Not Dan Rather, not Yasser Bobo Fett, not Bernard Shaw, not Peter Jennings, not CNN, not Fox News. Thus saith Yahweh. In those days is what? A Hebraic idiom for the latter days, the latter times. In those days, 9 Gentiles. 9 born-again Christians. Why is it 10 men? How many tribes became Gentiles? How many tribes of Israel became the latter-day Gentiles? 10.
10 tribes.
What's the significance of this day? When this day becomes a day of eternal celebration for Judah, Ephraim, it is the day that you return. That you come out of the church system that doesn't love you enough to tell you the truth. But they love you enough to take your money without telling you the truth. I'll take your money and tell you the truth.
Better deal.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Did I say that? Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Edit button. Watch this. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts. In those days, 10 men from all languages. Why 10? 10 tribes become the latter-day Gentiles. They're not speaking Spanish and English only. They're speaking all languages. Where are the 10 tribes? Speaking all languages? Throughout the world. Black, white, and Asian. There are more Israelites in Asia than there are in Europe. How many know that?
Come on.
Asia, where did Rav Shul spend most of his ministry? In Asia. All the languages of all the nations will take hold of the one who is a Jew, a Yehudite, will take hold of the tzitzit or the garment or the wings. How many have ever checked out my wings? I may not be Colonel Sanders, but I'm Rabbi Moshe with the wings, baby. In those days, how many 10 men speaking all languages from all nations have come to grab hold of the tzitzit of him who is called Yehudai, saying, I'll go with you. Why? Because I've heard Yahweh's with you. How do I know? You no longer mourn and cry on the ninth day of the 5th month, but you look forward, you press forward, you rejoice forward. I'm going to glad you're rejoicing now. I'm going to rejoice with you. him praise today. Let's rejoice together. It's not a Jewish holiday anymore. It was, but it ain't no more. It's our day. It's our day to be joined together. It's our day to weep together and then to rejoice together. It is our day to sow together and to reap together. For one sows and one waters, but Yahweh gives the increase. For neither he that sows or he that reaps is anything, but Yahweh who gives the increase.
Amen.
The two houses of Israel, Jewish Israel and non-Jewish Israel, are both rejoicing in this day. Not only both rejoicing in this day, they're both planning on keeping it in the kingdom, in the millennium.
Oh, Baruch Hashem, Yahweh.
So what used to be a Jewish possession, and if you try to cry with the Jews, they'd say, are you? Same thing they ask you when you go into a Messianic Jewish congregation. What's the first thing they ask you when you go into a Messianic Jewish congregation? Ready? Are you Jewish?
Oh, yeah.
No.
You are? Oh, welcome. You're not? It's nice to have you in. That's not the temple Yeshua came to build. The temple Yeshua came to build was no Jews, no Gentiles, no blacks, no whites. We are the Commonwealth of Israel. And the Commonwealth of Israel will see in the Spirit that which was mournful and sorrowful and bitter, that which was the ninth day of the 5th month has been changed and invaded. The light of Yeshua has invaded the darkness. And we who are the 10 men from every tribe and every language are grabbing the seat of the Jews and say, we're not joining you for mourning. We're joining you in a great party, in a great time of rejoicing, somebody. Father, we thank you, Abba Yahweh. We thank you, Abba Yahweh. I want everyone standing, please. Everyone standing. Hallelujah. Without Abba Yahweh. Keep rejoicing, my goodness. Standing doesn't mean you gotta get quiet. Hallelujah. Come on, Coca. Welcome back. Can you do that now for Yahweh? Welcome back. Welcome back. And we're singing in harmony, in perfect harmony. And the 10 men and the 2 men together speaking one language.